welcome to the VSA Morning Miner. It's Thursday, the 1st of May. I'm joined by Paul Rankin. Paul, how are you today?
Good morning to you. I'm very fine, thanks.
Good. We got some interesting news this morning. Let's start with assays from Myriad Uranium in Wyoming.
Yes, that's right. Further assay results back from retesting some of the historic drill holes, specifically there on their Copper Mountain uranium project in Wyoming. And that's in order to determine just how accurate the estimates of the uranium grades were in the historic information. And they're finding these latest results they've put out also demonstrating what they had found earlier is that up to 20%. And sometimes as high as 50% of the assays are underreported in the historic data. And that's apparently due to differences in mineralogy, essentially, not at depth in particular, not reporting to the prior gamma probe assay technology of the time, such that the estimates that they're coming up with, like in hole 10 here, 1200 ppm over 3.6 feet, or in hole another assay from the same hole, 1600 ppm over almost 6 feet, well down the hole below 500 feet in depth, indicating that there is more uranium there than what was historically anticipated. And they are saying that these assays are back from eight boreholes, and they still have remaining information for six boreholes pending.
Yes, indeed. That phenomenon, uranium disequilibrium, prompted Union Pacific Railroad, the group that did the most historic work, to be very conservative on the grades that they publish. So now, with the confidence of modern technology, um, the chemical assays showing good corroboration to the um, handheld probes at the time of drilling, and a good uplift on what was previously recorded historically. Um,
And
Interestingly, in that last batch of holes to come, the deeper results are expected. These are all intercepting mineralization between 20 and about 170 meters deep. Union Pacific typically cap their drilling at about 180 meters, but Myriad have done some deeper testing as well. So we'll look forward to those results in the final batch. Canning's obviously only one part of the 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 Copper Mountain district, and Myriad the first group to consolidate this properly since Union Pacific. Um, and so, with this combination of confirming that uranium mineralization is where it says it is on the historical data, um, albeit now with higher grades, and results of geophysics as well, some good pathfinding tools for future exploration across the wider district.
yes, that's right. And this evidence also demonstrating there's more uranium to be recovered there than what was perhaps suspected at the time. And because it is a consolidated district now, it's just that much more likely that they will end up with enough uranium pounds in resources and reserve in order to make a production decision.
Absolutely. Our initiation note is on the VSA portal. We've also got an update from Chilwa, Paul.
Yes, that's right. With chilwa, we've got they've their soil sampling results in confirmation of geophysical targets across their Malawi project. There are they have even more targets now identified, and it's quite likely that some of these targets are definitely related to carbonatites. That's the bottom line. Simple layman's description of the assay information or description of sampling that they've done out there on their project there in Malawi. And that being said, then they'll have plenty of drill targets to proceed to test here. They have the soil samplings also demonstrating there's two different categories of styles of mineralization. One which is related to niobium plus light rare earths, and the other being a heavy rare earth suite of sampling zones. So they'll probably concentrate more on the high grade niobium and the more concentrated heavy rare earths, as those will be the commercially viable targets to test first with drilling.
Indeed, looking good there. There's also some M&A activity coming out of China on the sort of larger end. There's newspaper reports of Zijin looking to spin out its overseas assets, but at smaller end of the market, there's also news from Atlantic Tin Pool.
Yes, that's right. Atlantic Tin holds 75% interest in the Akhmash tin deposit in Morocco, and they have just received a takeover offer from Chinese firm Inner Mongolia Xingye Silver and Tin. And that offer is to require 100% of their shares for Australian $24 or 24 cents cash per share. And that Akhmash deposit is in joint venture with the two Japanese companies, Toyota Tsusho, which has 20%, and Nitetsu Mining, which has 5%. So, with that takeover, the Chinese then would become partners with the Japanese on this uh, rather sizable tin deposit, which is in Morocco. And Morocco, of course, is developing some really significant battery and EV manufacturing capacity in country in order to ultimately supply into the European market.
Yeah, they over the last uh, year or so, they put this Akmash deposit together with a brownfield processing facility, and we're hoping to develop the project off the back of that. They raised money last year privately, but had very much positioned it as a Western source of tin. But we'll see how long that lasts.
Yes, that's right. Because simply because if the Western capital markets won't step up in order to provide the proper levels of financing at the early stages of development, then the Chinese, certainly in order to have market control, will step in when they see value.
Indeed. Anything else, Paul?
Real quickly, just to say that Albemarle put out their Q1 results yesterday, and their net sales were 1.1 billion, with double-digit volume growth in their specialties and energy storage, lithium salts production. Net income, though, because of the sharp decline on a comparative basis year on year, and would be just 41 million, so roughly zero on a diluted share attributable basis. And cash from operations was 545 million. It was also interesting to see their outlook on the lithium chemicals market. And if to get more detail, you can see more on commentary from Howard Klein, a lithium ion bull, on the results. But bottom line is that the outlook for total need of chemical out to 2030, Albemarle feels is going to be even less than what was initial prognosis. But given that, the estimated price that for that lithium chemical has to rise in order to be able to deliver that much into it. About 2.5 million tons lithium chemical by 2030 is going to be necessary.
All right, Paul. Thanks very much. We'll be back tomorrow.
Very good. Thanks.
This podcast has been produced and edited by VSA Capital. It is intended for information purposes and not as investment advice. The information is intended for recipients who understand the risks associated with equity investments in smaller companies. Please do your own research and do not rely on a single source when making an investment decision. VSA Capital may derive fees from this content and seeks to do business with the companies mentioned.